Hello everyone, the Nature Podcast annual festive shenanigans are here once again. And this year, instead of our usual host, Shamli Bundell, we have me, Nick Petridge-Howe, donning the sparkly host jacket, which I'm clearly not wearing. Because of that, this year we have some changes. In previous years, I think it's fair to say that the true winners in fact, have been robbed of their deserved victories by Shamli Bundell.
As the actual winner of a couple of the past years, I would like to formally lodge my objection.
Well, I'm just saying there seemed to be a very vibe-based point system, and this year we're doing it scientifically.
Yeah.
There'll be actual points for actual questions, and we'll get to the end and decide who, in fact, is the best person who works at Nature. I've arbitrarily decided.
Yes, I'm in trouble. I can sense it already.
Nick, I was told there would be bonus points for Christmas jumpers.
You were told there would be bonus points for Christmas jumpers. Flora, unfortunately, you did not know that, so I'll let it slide. So,
I am
Flora,
really sensing a stitch up here with the new quote-unquote actual rules-based system.
actual rules-based system. But yes,
And-
Emily, bonus points. Flora, also bonus points.
So no bonus points for a Christmas colour scheme. I've gone green and
Dan
red.
tried.
Everyone gets bonus points.
Brilliant.
Bonus points for everyone.
Hang on, do I get extra
sweet.
bonus points for
new-
actually wearing a Christmas jumper?
The new nature quantified system works.
It's already falling
The system
down.
works. The rules are already falling away. But with that in mind, maybe it's worth introducing the three of us. So I have three of my colleagues here who are probably familiar to listeners. We have Emily Bates.
Hello.
We have Dan Fox.
Hello.
And the master of the nature briefing herself, Flora Graham.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Contestants, as I mentioned, this is a proper quiz this year. So that means we also have to have buzzers. With this being primarily an audio medium, I want you to come up with your own buzzer sound. So I'm going to put you on the spot now. Emily, what's your buzzer sound?
Moo.
Moo. Perfect. Dan Fox.
I was going to go quite a deep noise as well. I'm going to go, Dan.
Dan. Perfect.
Dan.
Flora, what is your buzzer noise?
Oh, it has to be Christmas themed.
Oh, go for it.
I'm going to go ding dong.
Ding dong.
Christmas bells.
Perfect. Make sure you remember them because you'll need to buzz in to answer the questions. And if I don't hear that exact buzzer sound, I won't go to you.
Dan. Sorry, just practice.
Well, contestants, if you've got your buzzers at the ready, we can begin. Cue the music. Okay, so as you all know, every year on the quiz, we talk about stories we've had on the Nature Podcast and in nature more broadly. And so this year, we had a story about watermarking, a way of marking AI-generated text so it can be detected. So I want you to do some detecting. I've got a set of 5 nature headlines coming up. One of them was generated by AI, and I want you to spot it for me.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm feeling good about this. Headlines are my
I was
bag.
going to say, this is your thing, Flora.
All right, here are the 5 headlines. Two-faced AI language models learn to hide deception. AI predicts the next global pandemic, but experts question its accuracy. Could AI-designed proteins be weaponized? Scientists lay out safety guidelines. AIs now beat humans at basic tasks. New benchmarks are needed, says major report. AI made of jelly learns to play Pong and improves with practice. Buzzers at the ready. What do you think?
Dan.
Go for it.
It's the second one, which I've forgotten what the words were, but they were the wrong words.
I think
They
so
were
too.
AI
Yeah, I
words.
agree. They
That
were
was on
boring.
my list, yeah.
So sorry to whoever wrote that if it was not an AI.
It was indeed AI.
Hey.
You are correct.
Oh.
I'm giving the points to Dan because he buzzed in. So, yes, AI predicts next global pandemic, but experts question its accuracy.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded plausible when I was getting ChatGPT to generate these, but yes, you were correctly
It
identified.
wasn't as bad as most AI
Yeah.
headlines.
That would have been workshopped more, though, if it was one of ours. It would have had something a bit more
There's just
to it
that
to
secret
grab
sparkle.
you know?
You know, it
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
millions of years of evolution to
Yeah.
achieve.
Millions of years of evolution for a nature headline.
Yeah.
All right, I have a bonus for you as well. Just true or false, is this next one AI generated? Buzzers at the ready. Could AI predict financial crises? Wall Street is betting on it.
Ding
Moo.
I think that was Flora.
It is AI generated.
It is AI
I was
generated.
gonna
Well
go
done.
for it too.
But I thought I would read that story. That sounds
I mean, it
interesting.
doesn't sound like an interesting story, but would Nature put Wall Street in a headline? I don't think so.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Using the insider nature knowledge there. All right, I've got an archaeology round coming up, so get your fingers on the buzzer for this next one. This year, we also had a story about 2 cities in Uzbekistan that were revealed by LiDAR. One of those cities was named Tashbilak. What was the name of the other?
Dan.
Go for it.
Tugunbilak.
Tugunbilak is correct. Well done. Points
Check,
for
please.
Dan.
Spent a long time on that one.
That's a good film.
Lot of re-recording that voiceover to make sure I got those names
Wow,
right.
I have more of a general knowledge.
Well, Flora, you need to watch the Nature YouTube channel.
I mean, I do watch it, but I don't memorize every single noun and number.
Remember the name of every ancient Uzbek city recovered by LiDAR.
I mean, if there's anyone who can honestly say she has watched every single nature video you guys have published this year, it's me. So
That is
I
true,
might have
that is
to
true.
see. As you can see, I'm already trying to butter you guys up.
We appreciate it, Laura.
I'm filled with fear at this stage.
It is all to play for at this point still. So, next question. In August, we published a story about the origin of the altar stone of Stonehenge, the large central stone. What basin did their analysis suggest it came from? Emily Bates.
The Orkney Basin.
I have the Orcadian, but I'll accept
Orcadian
the
is correct.
Orkney.
Orcadian is correct. Orkney is technically wrong. Orcadian is correct. Orkney is the island that is part of the Orcadian Basin, but the basin actually stretches into the northern part of Scotland as well.
Yes, it's sort of the northern tip and the Orkney Islands, as you said.
I
And
got
have
too excited.
You did get too excited, but I gave you the point anyway.
Thank you.
Seems like I think subsequent work said it's definitely not Orkney though. So
They
it
have
feels like maybe
absolutely
you should
said that.
take the point away.
No, Dan, stop. They have said that, but it's still the Orcadian Basin, but most likely not from the Isle of Orkney.
All right, moving on. The microbiome was another topic we covered this year, and I was wondering if anybody knows what did perturbing a mouse dad's microbiome do?
Perturbing.
Perturbing. There was some perturbation going on in the mouse microbiome of
Ding
the
dong.
dads. Go for it.
I believe it affected the health of his offspring.
That is indeed correct. So the offspring was smaller and didn't survive as well after the microbiome was perturbed, suggesting that even the father's microbiome has an effect on their offspring. Okay, next question. This is a physics-based question. Why might we have to add a negative leap second to Earth's time in several years?
Ding dong.
Go for it.
Because the moon is getting no.
No. The Earth slowed down slightly. The rotation
Yes.
slightly changed.
Yes, I will give it to you. So the speed of the Earth's rotation relative to the core is increasing. So the core is slowing down,
Yes.
the outside is going faster. But that process has actually been delayed because of climate change, and that's caused a redistribution of mass from the poles to the rest of the Earth, sort of slowing that process down. So we may not have to add that negative leap second for a few years. Also, adding a negative leap second is quite a strange concept. But yes, at some point in the future, we'll have one less second. There'll be a second that goes missing at some point.
Exciting.
Wow, that's a real silver lining of climate change, isn't it?
Yeah, I know,
Put
right?
that off, that inconvenience.
I am expecting you to get this one, Flora. Absolutely no pressure. But on the briefing chat this year, the famous part of the show where we talk about stories in the Nature Briefing, we talked about synthetic meat. Now, one of the things that's been hard to replicate is a process by which amino acids and sugars react with each other to give meat that recognizable aroma and taste. Does anybody know
No.
what the name of that reaction is? Emily Bates?
No. The Maillard reaction?
Maillard reaction is correct.
I think that was my first Nature Briefing chat.
That is quite possibly
I think
true.
that was my first day on the podcast. So there
classic.
you go. Yeah.
A classic. And you knew right away to pronounce it.
Maillard.
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 Maillard. No, I definitely Googled it when I first saw it written down.
The mallard reaction.
I would like to
Maillard
say I
reaction.
hope I got it right when I did the podcast. I do not know if I just got it right now.
Everyone who is French, please write directly to Emily Bates about that one.
No.
All right. We also had a story about frog saunas on the podcast. The idea of these saunas is that they could help frogs fight off a deadly fungus as it couldn't survive the higher temperatures inside. Now, these saunas were constructed from breeze blocks and greenhouses. Does anybody know where the researchers who did this work bought those greenhouses?
Dan? Is it Aldi?
It is, in fact, Aldi.
Yeah.
That's amazing. amazing.
Thank you. And Audi, send the check directly to Dan Fox, Care of Nature Towers.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Man,
Yeah.
I was like, I've got this. I know everything about this story. They were in Australia. The frogs actually loved the saunas. Like, they would seek them out. And everything. And then the question was, where did they buy the greenhouses?
Another thing we talked about a lot at Nature this year was about self-experimentation. And there was a story about a woman who took an MRI scan of herself 75 times in a year. Does anybody know what she was looking to find out,
Ding dong.
Flora?
The effect of pregnancy and childbirth on the brain.
No, but similar
No.
topic.
It's the menstrual cycle. No, contraceptive pill.
It was the contraceptive pill. I will give it to you just.
Panicking.
She measured her brain when she was on and off the pill and compared the differences and saw some differences in the structure, which could indicate some effects. All right. Next question. 2 dummies were launched into space in 2022 to better understand the effects of space radiation on female bodies. Does anybody know what those 2 dummies were called?
Moo.
Emily Bates.
Helga and Zohar.
Helga and Zohar is correct. All right, that is the end of the main round. We also have a lightning round. These are all based on research highlights that have been published in Nature this year.
Good. It's a good thing I forget these the second they leave my mouth.
Dan research highlights Fox here.
All right, but it's everything to play for here because the points are relatively close, so this could be the difference. First question. Which direction do baby turtles swim when hatching?
Dan is like
Ding dong.
upwards through the sand to the sky.
Upwards is correct.
Objection. Baby turtles do not swim when hatching. They climb.
Because they're in sand.
They're not in the water.
Yeah.
The sand acts as a fluid in this situation, but in this model.
That's a valid point,
I
Flora.
thought that was like a cunning trick question, you know?
No, but it's a valid point, so I'll give you a random bonus point for that.
Oh.
Pedantry point.
Pedantry
I
point.
thought it was one of those, like, how much weighs more? A pound
This
of
is-
feathers or a pound of...
This is why Flora wins every year, because she gets little pedant points throughout.
How
Hey.
dare you? I'm having to desperately cling to the pedant points only this year.
Next question is about the Dwarf Planet series. What does its ocean become as you go deeper,
Ding dong.
Flora?
Liquid methane?
No.
Moo. Methane. Solid methane.
No.
Dan, isn't it just like dirtier?
Dirtier is the correct answer. This question is relevant to this time of year in the UK, I think. What did researchers find would reduce beer consumption in England?
Ding dong.
Flora?
The total obliteration of the human race.
That probably would do it, but not correct.
Dan, it's smaller glasses, smaller measures.
Smaller measures is correct. They talked about taking pints off the menu, instead using 2/3.
Devastating.
Very devastating. How would you go for a pint if there is no pint? 2 fossilised fish were discovered this year with what in their jaws?
Vapes.
Vapes. Surprisingly incorrect.
I actually picked this as one of my highlight of the year highlights.
Oh, did you? Do you know what the answer is
Oh,
then?
wait. Say
Whisper it to
Dan
me.
first, otherwise...
Dan? It's fossilized bats.
It is fossilised bats, correct.
They
Dan
choked
Fox is
fossilized
storming
fish,
this round.
Choked on a fossilized bat.
Wow.
Pretty good, isn't it?
All right. Next question. Where did bacteria found on an asteroid actually turn out to be from?
Moo.
Emily Bates?
The Earth.
Yes, that is correct. And solid guess if anyone got that at home. Yeah, it turns out that it was probably a contamination, showing that we should be really careful when we go out there because we'll probably take something with us.
To be fair, the alternative is we discovered alien life, which
Yeah.
I think it would have made
Bigger
the
story.
news.
Yeah.
We should say, though, this was an asteroid sample that had been returned to Earth.
Yeah.
So it's not like a spacecraft went out to the asteroid, found a sample, analyzed it, and found bacteria. I mean, that really would have been a bit of a, turn of events.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the fact that they brought it down, or excuse me, it was dropped onto the Earth in a sample container. Then they had kind of struggled to open it for quite a while. Lots of stuff happened. I mean, they did go absolutely incredibly above and beyond to try to keep it clean. So, it is still a very interesting discovery. But to be fair, it was surrounded by earthiness at the time.
Earthy bacteria. Yep.
And the final question, so fingers on buzzers, or mouths, I guess, on buzzers in this case. The final question is, why do adult chimps play?
Moo.
Emily Bates.
Because it's fun.
Probably true, but not in this case. What might you learn if you're doing play?
Bonding and teamwork.
Teamwork is the answer. Adult chimps play in addition to young chimps to learn teamwork and to learn how to cooperate.
Nice.
Maybe why humans play as well.
Like a quiz.
Like a quiz. It could be. It all comes round. We've learnt so much teamwork through doing this quiz together. And so I think that brings us to the end. So the winner and conclusive best person at nature is Dan Fox.
Hey! Dan Research Highlights Fox.
I will say as well, before the lightning round, Emily Bates was in the lead and Dan brought it in the lightning round. So well done, Dan Fox. You were the best person at nature. How does it feel?
Fantastic. I'd like to announce the renaming of the Nature Podcast, the Dan Fox Podcast and Party Hour. And, I'll also be ending the podcast later today.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Speaking of, thank you everyone for listening. And we'll be back again with the quiz next year. Cue the music.